let me know and it can be yours, and then just get it laundered and give it to them, dry clean and give it to them, because I'm not going to be able to wear so many saris. I think it's just being sustainable, you know. So I have 25 saris that mean a lot to me, that have stories attached, and I get this way, you know, I make space for more to keep coming in.
Well, more saris to be given. Amrita, tell us about your collection.
I'm going to call you for a sari.
Please do, I'd be more than happy.
Yeah, so I'm a new sari wearer, Vidya. I have more than 25. Most of my saris were part of the trousseau when I got married, and of course I wasn't allowed to wear saris before I was married. I have no idea why. But now I can't have enough. And my favorite is definitely the jacket, also from Calcutta. It is just the softest thing I've seen. And I am building a small collection of white on white jacket. So if you have any pass them on.
Namrata is not happy with her collection that is bigger than yours.
There's a truckload coming your way.
Vidya, in a time when Bollywood heroines wore chiffons, what gave you the courage to bring the simple handloom cotton sari to the fore?
I have to say that, you know, at a very crucial juncture in my life when I was fashion lost, so to speak, I met Sabyasachi Mukherjee, and he was one who encouraged me to just wear the sari first. He said, what is it that you, because I was receiving a lot of flack for everything I wore or didn't wear. And at that time he just told me, what is it that you like wearing? And I said, I love the sari. And he said, you know, why don't you just start wearing saris? I remember there was an 800 rupee sari that he got me for, because he also dressed me in some films after, and you know, people kept asking me, where did you get the sari from? It was in a film bar. And I said, you know, it's sourced from a small store in Calcutta, and it's just that it was unbelievable to them, right? But I feel so happy because from across the country we have such a wide range of saris to choose from, and every week I've begun to I know a little now about the various weaves from across the country. I'm not going to open my mouth here because Kavikaji is here, but so the sari is just fascinating me, and I'm so glad that Sabya gave me the courage to wear the sari at that point in my life, and then I just embraced it. So when I went to Cannes, as a matter of fact, I didn't know what I was going to wear. I was a bit confused because you only saw people wearing gowns and with trails and God knows what else. But I was so happy when he told me that you should go in a sari. I mean, he designed some beautiful saris for me. But it was actually at the Melbourne Film Festival where I went for a footy match to promote the festival that I first wore the sari and walked onto the field, and the entire stadium, was, I think, just gobsmacked. They were like, what is this? I would have liked to believe that they thought it was this vision in bread, but I'm not sure they thought that.
Those days were not the social media days, but I remember the videos coming in, and there was.
So I just think, and I'd like to see more women wear the sari even on international platforms, because it's, internationally there are women wearing saris. And Jamal, trust me, it's never too late to wear your first sari.
Well, I have gotten into a discussion like that before, and I don't want to compare it. So now there's a quote of yours, Vidya, but the question is not for you, the question is going to be for Namrata. You say in the book, a woman in a cotton sari, with wet hair left open to dry, wearing a bindi, perhaps some kajal. There's nothing more beautiful than that. Namrata, as a fashion commentator, what's your take on that? A woman in a sari, with wet hair left open to dry, wearing a bindi, perhaps some kajal. There is nothing more beautiful than that. Vidya is quoted in Arshia's book saying this. What is your take on this?
I think the thing with the sari, because it's completely unstitched and it's a full-on one-piece draped thing, lends itself to so much femininity, so much sexuality. You know, I mean, I think more than women wearing saris, it's men who like women in saris for some reason, and this image sort of, yeah, I see that. This image sort of conjures up a very sexy woman in a sari with just her beautiful Indian eyes and the kajal, and I think it's fabulous.
Honestly, growing up, I grew up in Jaipur, which is dominated by the tangrams, and I only saw women wearing cotton saris, beautiful cotton saris, and they, you know, be walking to wherever with their with freshly washed hair, wet hair, with these baby kajal, like I said, no lipstick, no makeup whatsoever. I've seen women go to weddings like that. So I feel that really you don't need any accessory or any makeup when you wear a sari. If only you wake up to the beauty of it, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Wasn't there a movie of yours where you actually went with the cotton sari as opposed to the more glamorous ones
I've done that in loads
you've done
of
that so
films.
many times, yeah. I mean, one of the first ones where you actually, the simplicity is what stood out in what you were wearing as the leading lady of the film, but you've done it so many times, so it was...
Yeah, but I think, you know, the character demanded it, and therefore I did it in Power, for example, and then I've gone on to do it in a lot of films like Mission Mangal, and but I think it's really the character that dictates what I wear on screen. Tumhari Sulu, of course, but Tumhari Sulu is not synthetic saris, but I think there's another kind of beauty to that also.
You know, Namrata, when we spoke about the session a little earlier, you were most gung-ho about the diversity of the saris, the weaves, the drapes that change from, you know, a few hundred kilometers in our country. You want to talk a little about that?
I mean, I think that's really the most exciting thing about India, right? Like, it is really our absolute grassroots heritage, so to speak. Every few kilometers, you know, the weave changes a little bit, the name of the sari changes a little bit, and it's pretty much, you know, it really is the most, what do we make, what does India make that's the best in the world? And I keep asking that. It's not a vaccine, it's not a tractor, it really is the textile, right? It brought the West to us, our hand-woven textiles. It took India to the world when the British took our cotton and, you know, industrialized it. I thought it was very tongue-in-cheek when Sabyasachi made his H&M line full of chins that he was selling back to the West, what the West already took from us. You know. So I think it's so intrinsic to the DNA of our nation that we really can't escape it. I just think it's, I mean, I see a lot of young people now in their 20s, Bombay girls, you know, wear cotton saris, kids and ganjis, and I just love how they're just reclaiming, you know, something that's very intrinsic to us.
Yeah. Pavitra ji, if I were to ask you to pick one favorite weave, would you be able to tell us which one?
Sorry, I don't know about you're asking me a very difficult thing. As a creator, I think you put a little bit of your soul into whatever you create. So for that time being, through the process, that becomes your favorite. Till you finished with it and you're bored and you want to move on. So I think I have a lot of favorites. But of course, talking about old textiles, there's no match about it. Because that was done at a time when people had the leisure, had the time, had the skill. And they weren't driven by just what market wants. So you'll find such exotic textiles like you find in all the museums. And I think every old textile tells us a lot of stories. It talks about the times, it talks about unknown things. And I think understanding it, it's about the universality or about India having such a diversity, and it's a celebration. So for me, that's very important because it sort of celebrates you as a culture, as a community, as a nation. And not one is superior to the other because every woman in every village wears it differently.
Right.
And I think that it's a celebration itself.
Right, lovely. Vidya, you said this earlier today on stage, and you say it in the book as well, that unlike other outfits that you need to fit into, the sari does the reverse. It accepts you the way you are. What role does the sari have in taking on body image issues?
I think massive. Look at women from across the country, right? people, women who are just, or just women, not just across the country. I'm saying different women. Look at this room here. Firstly, I have to say that it's so heartening to see so many women in sarees, and I've been trying to sneak a peek and appreciate, all of you who come here in sarees. And I really think, I've lost track of what you said. Sorry, you were saying.
The body image issues.
Yeah, body image. So I just think that it's fantastic because it does, embrace you just the way you are. So, and you can be, I really feel that I've seen women from across the world wear the sari. So it doesn't matter what your skin color is, what height you are, what your body size is. There's no woman I've seen who doesn't look good in a sari. Well, I have also seen men wear saris, and I have to say that even men look great in a sari because it's just holding you together, which is why I spoke about security in my initially in the conversation, because it just lets you be. It's not asking you to fit into a mold, it's not asking you to be anyone but who you are. So I think it is the most versatile garment. It's powerful, it's sexy, it's sensual, it's somber, it's dignified. It can be whatever you want it to be. Just you need to decide where your ballast is.
It's as much as it reveals.
Hides as much as she reveals.
Yeah, exactly.